The descent below? What really happened to the women who vanished beneath Rome's Colosseum? The answer begins with the sound of iron slamming shut, a gate so heavy it makes your teeth rattle. The vibration travels through your bones, a physical reminder that you are now trapped in a world few ever see and even fewer survive. Above you, the arena crowd is a living storm, their cheers and shouts rolling like thunder. But down here, beneath the sand, the noise is muffled, replaced by a suffocating silence that tastes of dust, sweat, and fear. You're not being led into the sunlight, not being given the dignity of a public end. Instead, you're herded into the darkness below, where the air is thick and every breath feels stolen. The torchlight is oily, flickering against the damp stone walls, casting shadows that writhe and twist like living things. Each step echoes, a reminder that you are not a citizen, not even a prisoner in the eyes of Rome. You are something else, something less. In your fist, you clutch a single smooth river stone, the last piece of your homeland. Its cold surface presses into your palm, grounding you against the rising panic. Around you, other women from conquered lands stumble forward, their faces a mix of terror, anger, and numb resignation. None of you know why you were spared the noonday executions. The arena above promised a quick, public death, brutal, but over in moments. Down here, the rules are different. The tunnels beneath the Colosseum are a world apart, a place where the laws of Rome are replaced by the whims of those who hold the keys. The guards don't speak. They shove you forward, deeper into the maze. The heat is stifling, but the stone underfoot is slick and cold. Somewhere above, the crowd roars for blood, but down here, the only sounds are the shuffle of feet, the clank of chains, and the distant ring of steel on stone. You wonder what fate could be worse than death in the sand. Why were you chosen for this hidden path? What secret purpose do you serve in the darkness where no one dares to look? Every sense is heightened. The smell of old blood lingers in the air, mixed with the sharp tang of oil and sweat. The walls close in, and the torchlight seems to shrink with every step. You keep your eyes on the guards, on the other women, on the stone in your hand, anything to keep your mind from racing ahead to what might be waiting. The uncertainty is a living thing, gnawing at your resolve. You reach a heavy door, its surface scarred and stained. The guard's hand is rough as he pushes you through. Inside, the air is colder, the darkness deeper. You realize that whatever fate awaits you here, it is meant to be hidden from the world above. The arena promised spectacle, but these tunnels promise secrets, secrets that Rome would rather keep buried. And as the door slams shut behind you, you know that your story is only just beginning. But what comes next will change everything you thought. You knew about survival in the shadow of the empire, selection and separation, written in a high-retention, immersive style and expanded to fit your requested length. Inside the stone chamber, time seems to stretch and warp. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and old fear. You and the other women wait, pressed together in the darkness, each heartbeat echoing in the silence. No one speaks. Every face is turned inward, lost in private calculations of hope and dread. Hours pass, or maybe it's only minutes. Down here, there's no way to tell. Then suddenly the door creaks open and a new figure enters. He is not a soldier, but something colder. The Lanista's bookkeeper. A man whose power comes not from the sword, but from the ledger. He carries a wax tablet and a stylus, his lantern held high to cast harsh light across your faces. He doesn't ask for names. He doesn't care who you were before this moment. To him, you are inventory, assets to be counted, measured, and assigned. He moves down the line, inspecting each woman with the practiced eye of someone used to valuing livestock. His fingers are rough as he grabs chins, pries open mouths, checks teeth and muscle. He marks his tablet with quick, sharp strokes, never pausing, never meeting anyone's gaze for long. When he reaches you, you keep your head down, eyes fixed on the floor. The river stone is hidden now, tucked into the folds of your waistband, its weight a secret comfort. He studies your hands, your shoulders, the set of your jaw. You feel his gaze linger, calculating. And then he makes a mark on his tablet, different from the others. He moves on, repeating the process with 3 more women. The rest are ignored, their fate already decided. A guard barks an order, and the unchosen are chained together, herded out of the cell and back into the tunnels. You catch a glimpse of their faces, some blank, some twisted in fear, others already resigned. Their destination is whispered among the survivors. The public market, the sulfur mines or the lupineries, the infamous brothels built into the very foundations of the arena. For them, separation is not mercy. It is a sentence, a one-way journey into the darkest corners of Rome's underworld. But for you and the other marked women, the door bolts shut once more. You are left in the cold silence. Your status changed, but your future no less uncertain. Hours drag by. The stone beneath you leaches away any remaining warmth. When the door finally opens again, it's not a guard who enters, but an older servant, his face a map of old scars. He carries no weapons, only a stack of rough, dun-colored tunics. He tosses them onto the floor and points, wordless and impatient. You are to change, your old clothes stripped away, your identity erased one layer at a time. As you pull the scratchy wool over your head, the smell of lye and old sweat fills your nose. The riverstone presses cold against your skin, a silent reminder of who you were. You realize now that you have not been spared. You have been selected. You are not destined for the public spectacle of the market or the mines. Instead, you belong to the Lutus itself, the gladiator barracks, a fortress of discipline and death. Here you will wash the fighters' blood-soaked gear, scrub their cells, and serve the needs of the men who live and die by the blade. You are no longer a person in the eyes of Rome. You are a tool, a privilege, a comfort meant to keep the Lutus's most valuable and most dangerous assets manageable. The price of your so-called mercy is servitude, stripped of freedom and name. But as you clutch the stone beneath your tunic, you vow that you will not let them take everything. Not your memory, not your will, not yet. And as the door slams shut once more, you sense that the true test is only beginning. Because in the Lutus, survival is never simple, and the next choice you make could mean everything. The price of survival. The days inside the Lutus blur together, each one marked by the same relentless routine. You wake before dawn to the sound of iron bars scraping open, the air already thick with the scent of sweat and old blood. The tunic you wear is rough against your skin, a constant reminder that you are no longer yourself, but something else, an object, a function, a shadow moving through the corridors of Rome's most brutal institution. The other women move beside you, silent and watchful, each carrying her own invisible weight. Some have already learned to keep their eyes down, to move quickly and without question. Others, like you, still hold on to small acts of defiance. A glance, a word, a stone hidden beneath the fabric. Your tasks are endless. You scrub the floors of the training yard, your hands raw from the lye and the cold water. You wash the blood-soaked gear of the fighters, the stains never quite coming out, no matter how hard you work. The smell of iron and sweat clings to your skin, impossible to wash away. Sometimes you are sent to clean the cells, stepping carefully around the sleeping forms of men who could end your life with a single blow. The guards watch you, but not always closely enough. You learn to move quietly, to listen for danger in the smallest sounds. The Lutus is a machine, and you are now one of its many moving parts. The men who train here are not just fighters, they are investments, worth more than most Roman villas. The lanista, the master of the barracks, runs everything with cold precision. He rarely raises his voice, but his word is law. You see him sometimes, moving through the halls with his ledger and his calculating eyes, always measuring, always planning. To him you are not a person. You are a privilege, a comfort, a tool to keep his champions focused and loyal. At first you think that survival here means obedience. You do what you are told, you keep your head down, you try not to draw attention. But it doesn't take long to realize that obedience is not enough. The rules change without warning. One day you are praised for your work. The next, you are punished for a mistake you didn't make. The other women whisper about the dangers, fighters who snap under pressure, guards who take what they want, punishments that come without explanation. You learn to read the moods of the men around you, to sense when trouble is coming and when it is safe to breathe. But even in this world of shifting dangers, you find moments of connection. A shared glance with another woman as you pass in the corridor, a quiet word of encouragement when the work becomes too much. The riverstone in your waistband is a constant presence, its cool weight reminding you that you are still yourself, no matter what they try to take from you. It is your secret, your anchor, your promise that you will not be broken. Yet the price of survival is steep. Every day you feel yourself slipping further from the person you once were. The routines of the Lutus are designed to erase you, to grind you down until you are nothing but a function, a shadow, a name on a list. You see it in the eyes of the other women, how quickly hope can fade, how easily resistance can turn to resignation. But you refuse to let go. You hold on to your memories, your anger, your stone. You remind yourself that you are more than what they see. And as the days pass, you begin to sense that something is changing. The lanista is watching you more closely. The guards speak your name with a different tone. The fighters, especially the champion Vindex, seem to notice your presence in a way that makes your skin crawl. You realize that your survival has come at a cost, and that cost is about to be collected. Because in the Lutus, nothing is given freely, and the next demand may be the hardest one yet. The day the Lanista summons you, the air in the Lutus feels heavier than usual. Wordless, a guard gestures for you and the other chosen women to follow. You're led not to the echoing corridors or the blood-stained training yard, but to a private chamber that smells of cedar, wax, and oiled leather. The room is a world apart from the grime and chaos outside, orderly, almost serene, but every detail is calculated. The Lanista sits behind a desk, his ledger open, stylus poised. He doesn't look up as you enter. To him, you are not a person, but a line in his accounts, a variable in his careful equation. He speaks without preamble. His voice is cold and precise as the ink on his ledger. "You are not servants," he says, eyes flicking over the group. "Servants are cheap. You are investments." The words hang in the air, heavy with meaning. He explains that the Lutus is a powder keg, always on the edge of chaos. The champions, men like Vindex, are worth more than a senator's villa. But they are dangerous, unpredictable, and superstitious. To keep them loyal, to keep them focused on the sand instead of rebellion, the Lanista offers them privileges. You and the others are to become Kubernia, official companions, barracks wives, living rewards for the men who bring Rome its blood and glory. The promise is protection. You will share the champions' quarters, eat their food, enjoy their status. You will be safe from the guards, from the lower-ranked fighters, from the market and the mines. But the price is clear. You will no longer belong to yourself. You will be the property of a single man, a living tool to keep him content and compliant. The Lanista's words are smooth, almost gentle, but the threat beneath them is unmistakable. Belong or be forgotten. He singles you out, his gaze sharp and assessing. "You," he says, "are for Vindex, the Gaul, our champion. He has asked for you." The room falls silent. You feel the eyes of the other women on you, some with pity, others with envy or fear. The Lanista waits for your response, but you say nothing. Instead, you look past him, at the map of the Empire pinned to the wall. Somewhere, your homeland is just a smear of ink, a memory already fading in the eyes of Rome. When you finally speak, your voice is a dry rasp. "I serve no one." The words are simple, but they land like a stone in a still pond. The Lanista does not get angry. He leans back in his chair, considering you with the same cold calculation he gives to his ledgers. Serve? No, you will belong, or you will be forgotten. There's no room for negotiation, no space for mercy. The escalation is not violent, it is administrative. You are not beaten, not threatened with the whip. Instead, you are moved. The other women, heads bowed, accept the tunics, the oils, the braids. They are led away to the champion's wing, their fates sealed by the Lanista's decree. You, however, are taken elsewhere. The guards do not speak as they lead you through the winding corridors, past the training yards and the kitchens, to a place you have never seen before, the Cella Oieri, the gatekeeper's cell. It is not a dungeon, but a display case, a stone niche carved into the main entrance of the Lutus. Here, you are visible to all, yet seen by none. The soft pressure of deprivation begins. You are given water and just enough stale bread to survive. The gate is a constant thunder of iron and wood, the world moving past you as if you are already a ghost. The Lanista intended this to break you, to force you to see the comforts the other women now have, the warm food, the clean rooms, the protection of their new masters. He wanted you to regret your defiance, to beg for the bargain you refused. But as the days pass, you realize he has miscalculated. The cell is stone, and so are you. The hunger is a fast, the silence a vow. The river stone in your hand is your only scripture. What was meant to be your punishment becomes your armor. You are no longer just a captive. You are a witness. But the Lanista is not finished. In the Lutus, every act of resistance has a price, and every bargain hides a deeper cost. And as you sit in the cold, watching the world pass you by, you begin to understand that the true danger is not what they do to your body, but what they try to do to your soul. The next move is coming, and it will test the limits of your endurance and your defiance. To be continued?